Most financial advice claims you need $1 million or at least a six-figure salary to finally feel wealthy. Trying to hit those massive financial goals while living paycheck to paycheck feels like trying to push a heavy boulder up a steep hill. You're exhausted, sweating, and making almost zero progress. When you don't have money saved, your brain operates in what psychologists call survival mode. Every decision is filtered through fear. You take terrible jobs or stay in bad situations because you literally can't afford to be picky. Your mental bandwidth is entirely consumed by immediate threats, like how to pay rent or fix a broken car. So if you feel stuck, it isn't because you are inherently bad with money. It's because your brain is trapped in the pull of financial gravity, leaving you completely incapable of thinking about long-term growth. This chart shows how savings impact financial well-being based on research from Vanguard. Going from zero savings to having just $2,000 in an emergency fund increases your overall well-being by 21%. That relatively small amount of money acts as a cognitive fire extinguisher. It puts out that immediate house on fire feeling in your brain, freeing up the mental space you need to actually think clearly. But $2,000 is only a buffer. Pushing that fund to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses, roughly $20,000, adds another 13% boost to your financial well-being. At this level, you've created the breathing room necessary for the brain to stop worrying about wealth preservation and start focusing on wealth building. This $20,000 threshold triggers a shift from reactive survival into proactive strategy. Let's look at a timeline showing what it takes to hit that first milestone. If you save $1,000 every month and earn an 8% return on your investments, getting to your first $20,000 takes exactly 19 grueling months of discipline and sacrifice. But generating your second $20,000 doesn't take another 19 months. It only takes 17 months, even though you are putting in the exact same monthly effort. This acceleration happens because that initial $20,000 is now working alongside your monthly contributions, generating its own returns and doing a portion of the heavy lifting for you. As the numbers get bigger, the math gets almost comical. By the time your portfolio reaches $400,000, generating your next $20,000 takes a mere 5 months. It comes down to scale. A 10% return on $2,000 gives you $200. Nice, but not life-altering. That exact same 10% return on $20,000 is a $2,000 profit, generated without you having to lift a finger. People assume the wealthy have access to secret hedge funds or exclusive investments. The reality is they have simply pushed their financial boulder to the top of the hill. Once you're up there, basic math and scale roll it down the other side automatically. This mathematical leverage also spills over into your professional life. Hitting that threshold unlocks what is effectively walking the way money. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, you are trapped in whatever job you currently hold. You can't ask for raises, can't fight a toxic boss, because you need that next check. Having $20,000 completely flips this power dynamic. You can negotiate from a position of real strength, knowing you could quit tomorrow and easily survive for months while you look for something better. The paradox is that you rarely even need to use that money. Simply knowing you have the option to leave makes you more confident and assertive in the workplace, which naturally leads to better assignments and higher pay without ever having to actually quit. But there is a massive trap waiting for people right after they cross this milestone. They hit $20,000, feel that rush of psychological relief, and immediately blow the money on a brand new car as a reward for their discipline. A new car loses roughly 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. Between payments, insurance, and maintenance, you can easily drain $400,000 over a lifetime just getting from point A to point B. This split-screen graph shows the brutal difference. On the left, a $30,000 car purchase means your net worth is plunging straight down. On the right, leaving that same money in a diversified investment portfolio over 20 years shows your wealth smoothly climbing past $200,000. $20,000 is the foundation of your financial future. It is the seed that grows into long-term independence, provided you let it compound rather than trading it for a status symbol that pulls you back into the gravity well. Once that financial foundation is secure, your daily life looks completely different. Slumber disasters, like a broken laptop or a sudden rent increase, are instantly downgraded to minor, manageable inconveniences. Because your brain is no longer constantly scanning for threats, it naturally begins scanning for opportunities. You finally have the bandwidth to evaluate whether a rental property makes sense or if it's worth investing in a friend's startup. People often say that money goes to money. It's not some cosmic conspiracy where the universe rewards the rich. It's simply that having cash gives you options, and those options allow you to see and seize the opportunities that were actually there all alone. Ultimately, the $20,000 sitting in your bank account is actually the second most valuable thing you acquired during this process. To reach that number from zero, you had to track where every dollar was going. You said no to impulses, ignored the shiny objects, and delayed your gratification for months or even years. That level of discipline creates a permanent identity shift. You prove to yourself that you dictate what your money does, rather than letting your money dictate what you do. $20,000 is a starting point, not a finish line. It provides the strategic runway to stop reacting to life out of pure survival and start designing it